Yo, yo, yo. What is up? What is up? What is up? Let me know in the chat if everybody can hear me. What's up, team? Hope everybody is doing good. Everything should be working. Sorry for the camera, guys. When I'm traveling, the camera quality is always a little bit shittier. But we're back. As always, hola, hola, hola. Okay, fantastic, guys. Good to hear loud and clear. All right, guys, not gonna lie, man. Today, very, very tired. The waking up at 5 a.m. here in Brazil, because I want to wake up for the London session, is really killing me, man. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely not a morning person. I am definitely more of an evening person. There was nothing more back in the days that I used to love than, like you wake up at, let's say, 8 a.m. Yeah. Then what I would used to do is I would, work until, let's say, 11 for let's say 3 hours until kind of like London sessions kind of like a little bit over. And then what I would do is I would go to the gym. I would do stuff that I need to do, whatever, like a doctor, blah, blah. And then have dinner, and then kind of like lock in from 8 p.m. until 1 a.m., That is kind of like the way that I grind, man. And then when it's dark outside, you kind of feel like the world is sleeping. That's kind of like our moment to shine. Now, regardless, after lunch, I'm going to rest out here. It's 10:30 a.m. So I'm just giving everybody an opportunity to tune in. Guys, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. And let's dive in, because it's been an interesting week so far. EURUSD has kind of stalled and manipulating here at the highs. Pretty much nothing out of the ordinary. You need to really kind of also think a little bit deeper about where is EURUSD currently trading. And if we simply go to the 12-hour time frame at the moment, and we see where we're trading at the level which I've been talking about for quite some time. I need to do like this so you can see what pair it is. We have been now trading here at the overall 12-hour liquidity high. All right, so this here is the liquidity high, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the week, this is kind of like the very first high of the overall descending trend line. Now, obviously, if you draw in a real trend line, you draw it pretty much from high number 1, high number 2, and then remember we discussed and I explained to you guys even before the high got taken out that I was assuming that a lot of people here went short on this bearish candlestick. And then you can see clearly the third trend line touch getting stopped out completely. Everybody being wiped out. Absolute beautiful scenes. And now what's happened so far is that the overall, let's say, order flow here has continued to push the market up higher. So if you are interested now in looking for a sell here on EURUSD, what I'm personally going to be doing is going to be waiting for a break here of the overall order flow and of the monthly open. I want to see a breakdown, then a retest of that monthly open level, and then I'll be happy to get into a short back down in towards a new lower low, something like this. That would then be the overall position that I would be happy to take. And this is also what I'm waiting for, guys, on EURUSD for shorts, okay? I'm not looking to take a short now. And the reason why sometimes you see me taking a short on the liquidity high itself, because again, this is also a setup that can definitely play out 100%. Also a very nice setup. But in order to improve your overall win rate, what do you need to do? You need to have time frame alignment. Now, if we look at EURUSD at the moment and we go into a clean chart real quick, you can obviously see that the daily time frame is bullish in towards the highs. Within that bullish leg, we have taken out all of the liquidity, and since then we have been pushing up higher. So what this means is that the overall market structure on EURUSD is bullish in between the low and in between the high here on the daily time frame. We have retraced into discount pricing underneath the 0.5 fib, and we have taken out the final liquidity. So you pretty much have all the confluences, and back in the days, this was a long that I was thinking about taking that I didn't take that I should have taken, because this was perfectly valid. Because if you look kind of like in the history of price action here on EURUSD, what you're able to see is that ever since the beginning of the year, since we've been trending upwards, trading could be as simple as just looking for a break up, retest of the lowest liquidity low, and then continuation. Then again, impulsive phase, this is the only liquidity low that you pretty much have here. This overall low of this bullish candle, boom, continues pushing up again. Then again, here we have the overall impulsive phase. Within the impulsive phase, you have this here as liquidity. This here as liquidity. Well, at the time from the very first liquidity low here is where you have the 12-hour change of character. And then from there, for example, you could have looked for a long with the stop loss underneath the lows. So time and time again, you see that the overall trend prevails and keeps pushing us up higher, right? Here as well, internal liquidity gets taken and the market continued up higher. Now again, impulsive phase, final liquidity gets taken. This is the final liquidity low. So here you can then just pretty much just enter on the liquidity low itself. And from there, the market heads up higher for around 160 pips. So that's how you can very easily, and it's not complicated, but easily identify how to trade your USD, right? So now, when you're then looking at the current immediate trend, that is obviously bearish, because here we have a break of structure down, break of structure down, break of structure down. So there's misalignment. There's no alignment in the time frames, because the daily is trending upwards and should head up higher, but the 12-hour/4-hour is trending downwards, right? The internal trend is down from this high in towards this low. So when you trade an internal trend, which is against the overall higher time frame trend, what should you then be doing? You should then obviously be looking to wait for extra confirmation if you're going to be trending against the overall higher time frame trend. So what I then tend to do is I understand, okay, here we have the overall final liquidity high. Now to confirm that this liquidity high is ready to push us down lower, I would definitely want to wait for this low to go. As soon as that low goes, retest, boom, I sell the living shit out of it. Okay, as simple as that. This is the setup that I'm waiting for. If it happens, it happens and I get in. If it doesn't happen, then what is likely going to happen? What is likely going to happen is that the overall order flow will just simply continue to hold and continue to push us up higher, right? This currently is the order flow that is in control with the monthly open there. So it makes sense now for EURUSD to continue pushing up higher, right? As long as the overall internal order flow holds. Now, once the internal order flow breaks, then we get into shorts. Now, Fabio, why are you then not now looking to go long from the current level? Reason for that being is because, yes, we have liquidity here, and yes, we are bearish here, right? So what I'm then waiting for is for the break of structure in towards the upside. We then have the impulsive phase within the impulsive phase, right? Because, and with impulsive phase, within the impulsive phase is this, where I'm referring to the fact that here in between we had the overall pullback phase, right? So this here is your overall pullback phase, the overall orange zone. And now you expect after the final liquidity point has been taken out, you expect what? You expect the market now to continue pushing up higher, right? That's what makes sense. So now what we're waiting for is time frame alignment, where you have impulsive phase, which is bullish, within bullish daily structure. That's optimal. And then you wait for the retracement. You wait for example, liquidity here to get taken out, liquidity here to get taken out, and then we buy the living shit out of it when we get the confirmation. And on a setup like that, then I'm happy to long from the monthly open, stop loss underneath the lows, target a new higher high for like this. And then I just scale in again on the overall impulsive phase, because in between, right, I expect this, let's say, once that breaks, like if it breaks, I don't know if it's going to break, if it breaks, then I wait for the reaccumulation phase. In this reaccumulation phase, you sit on your hands. You don't ask me, Fabio, buy or sell. No, you be quiet, you wait. We wait for a 200 pip drop in towards significant liquidity. And then once we get into significant liquidity, we then get into a position on the overall lows, right? That is how we function, and that is the overall patience that you now need to have. And I've just laid out the entire roadmap for EURUSD. and my entire game plan, and this is my entire game plan, and I'm going to make a shit ton of money with this game plan. So it's up to you guys to make money with me or to be impatient and now say, Fabio, I'm going to long this. I'm going to place my stop loss here, and then you see this shit manipulate, stop you out, and then head up higher again, and then it heads up higher, and then you're going to try and, let's say, short the overall pullback in towards the downside, whatever, because you think it's overextended, and then it just keeps on pushing until here, and then a deeper retracement comes where we take out liquidity, but then you, in the meantime, think that we're in a downtrend, and then you start selling again, but then I'm going to start buying again, and then, yeah, like that. You guys get the mo. So that's what I'm currently waiting for, and that's the overall roadmap. Stick to that roadmap and you will make money. As simple as that, because I'm going to make money with it. And the reason I'm confident is because I've been looking at this for 6 years straight, every single London session doing a market outlook. So I know that the probability is extremely high if one of my scenarios starts playing out. Now, let's see. What is my annual income? I'm not really looking to publicly state anything about that on YouTube. Sorry. I think you can kind of understand why. You can kiss USD a goodbye, lads. Don't you think the dollar is long-term bearish with the new Fed chairman? Yeah, but why did I say that? Like that's a statement that you're making. Don't you think? Do you think that the dollar is long-term bearish? So what I think personally is, yeah, I mean, the dollar is bearish indeed with the current kind of like situation that is ongoing. Is it going to keep on trending down lower and lower? I do not know. What do? I follow the immediate trend. If I see that based on the technicals, the immediate trend, the market pushes up higher, right? And for now, the 4-hour remains bullish here between this overall low and this overall high. We've retraced now into discount pricing, then fine. Like, yeah, the market can head up higher for sure. But for now, the overall, let's say, technicals show me for the short term, we're still heading down lower. Because if we look here to the left, there's nothing really that can cause a major reversal. We still have a significant liquidity low here. So, yeah, only from here, I potentially see kind of like a reversal again happening. But yeah, pretty much that. We'll have to see and just take it a week by week. What is being said. Yeah, guys, really no need to spam the chat. Are you always looking at the daily time frame to see the trend and 1 hour, 4 hour for entry? Yeah, so daily for the trend and then the 4 hour for the entries. Fabio, how do I join to trade with you? You can click on the top link in the description of this video. Can you make a video PN analyzing fundamentals? Yes, I am working on that. The first fundamental video, I'm going to try and make it go live on Monday, guys, upcoming Monday. Yeah, guys, I'll ban the spamming. Don't worry. Thoughts on US oil seems to be relatively bullish. Any information on the new masterclass next week? Wednesday, we're doing a new masterclass. Okay, guys. So what for the rest is interesting and what for the rest can we potentially look for trades on? So as it's clear, EURUSD is currently a little bit untradeable, not a pair that I'm currently looking to trade. For the rest, what am I looking at? Let's go over some of the pairs. All right, I'll go slowly and share with you what my overall perspectives are. So after a long period of kind of like downward trend, I see there to be potential for the New Zealand dollar to appreciate in value. What I'm currently monitoring, guys, are NZD USD longs. So when I look at NZD USD, I've seen that we've had a very, very clear impulse in towards the highs from the overall yearly open. Now there's a significant dynamic shift happening on the New Zealand dollar where some real big fundamental shifts are happening. I've updated you guys inside Discord on that. I'm curious if you guys know why the New Zealand dollar is pushing up higher. Let's see if any of you know why NZD is pushing up. If you know, let me know in the chat. And in the meantime, guys, yeah, really appreciate if you could leave a like on the stream. Now, NZD USD has been very, very bullish. Here we had a break up. Here we've had a break up. Here we swept liquidity. Here we've swept liquidity. So it swept liquidity, boom. Swept liquidity, boom. And now again, where's liquidity? Here. So ultimately for me, this is now the low, this is now the high. If we can take out the low here, tap the monthly open, I'll be looking for a long back up higher. This is of course if we do see a retracement in towards the downside. Yeah, indeed, a hawkish tone. Stop cutting rates. Fantastic, guys. We are getting there all together. I'm glad to see that you guys are kind of like informed about what's going on. So for the New Zealand dollar, I'm looking at this low here for more buys. Otherwise, or other than that, pretty much the lows that I'm monitoring at the moment is the low here, the low here, and then the immediate low here. And from either one of these lows, I'm pretty much just happy to look for further upside. Okay. So this is for me NZD USD. This is for me is a top pick at the moment. I think personally that for the rest, yeah, I think only maybe NZD CAD seems to kind of like want to make a turnaround now that it's broken above the yearly open again. Maybe not ideal. 80 USD, not ideal at the moment. 80 NZD. 80 NZD for anybody who trades this. We've hit kind of like the peak of the overall range that we're in. Markets have been moving sideways here. And what a pair like this tends to do, especially here on like the higher time frame, so we're here even on the 3 monthly, we have swept the overall lowest point here, and then we reverse up higher, and now we've swept the overall highest point here, and I'm now looking for an overall retracement back down lower towards that yearly open for 80 NZD. So I'm looking for a short position on this. Looking at the daily here, we have, after taking out that significant liquidity high, we've now formed somewhat of an overall order flow in towards the downside. This here is currently supply and control. I'm looking at the lower time frame being the 4 hour now for potential trades. Here we had an internal bump in the road, which facilitated somewhat of a little internal trend here. I'm kind of waiting for this supply zone here to get hit, preferably this high to get taken out, and then look for a short again. So I'm looking for a short on that. For me, 80 NZD is very overextended after what's just been a run based on the fundamentals of the New Zealand dollar, or the Central Bank of New Zealand cutting interest rates very, very fast. So I'm looking for an overall deeper retracement from this pair. That's what I'm looking for. For the rest, I am looking at, what am I looking at? I'm looking at GBPUSD. I see there to be potential, for some short-term upside on GBPUSD still. We have taken out some significant liquidity here underneath the little range that we had here. Once that range low got swept, we saw an overall change in the structure here, retested that demand and rejected the monthly open. I'm looking for a pump into the black line here, from where I'll be looking for some more shorts again. That is something that I'm looking at. GJ, I'm looking for a short as well. I see there to be potential for somewhat of a deeper retracement. We have a nice 1, 2, 3 squeezing pattern here in towards the highs, with a lot of liquidity still left open. You can see that there's not a lot of momentum in it anymore. So I'm looking for this in the near-term future to start selling off as well. G-Swiss is also a pair that I'm looking for some sells in the near-term future, but this is more once the trend shifts, because we need to kind of like break this low, and then once it retraces, that for me will be a top sell that I'm looking to take. GCAD, GA, so GA has potential to head down lower, but not optimal. EURUSD is then obviously not optimal at the moment as well. I need a little bit of a push up higher for another pass on 100k account. EURUSD difficult at the moment. Euro yen, so Euro yen, I'm looking for a push lower. This is currently trading at a premium. Obviously we only really want to be trending or trading with the higher time frame trend, this is obviously also extremely bullish, but we're building up so much liquidity. I do expect there to be definitely a strong spike in towards the downside very, very soon. Where will it happen from? Preferably once we maybe take out kind of like the range high, kind of like ranging here. So maybe a fake out on the range high and then look for kind of like that short. Could also already head down lower. I'm kind of looking for a retracement back down towards the 0.5 fib. Looking for that. Euro GBP, looking for some longs on that from this daily demand zone, from the 3 monthly open as well. looking for a bounce up higher on that. Euro Swiss, not really a pair that I trade. Euro CAD consolidating here inside of this box. Euro AUD consolidating, looking for short-term buys again. This has been ranging since the summer, and we're now in the lower bound of the range. So I see that to be potential for a pump up again. And obviously you can kind of just put your stop loss here and just trade it kind of like a 1 to 2 maybe. Looking for a short-term pump on that. USD/JPY, this is still very bearish, and I still wouldn't be very bearish. What I mean with that is that we've hit a yearly open, and that it seems that the yen is appreciating value and the dollar is still not relatively strong. So I still see there to be potential for this to head down slightly lower as well. USD CAD is slow ranging. USD CHF, I'm looking for some more shorts. So this is kind of like how Euro AUD and Euro CAD are moving. This is currently trading in a range, and to make it very, very simple for you, all you kind of like want to do in these situations is again look for the market to push back down, as we're currently kind of like stuck in this range here. Now I use the range trading tool, which is just the Fibonacci, where we look at the 75 and the 25% level, and we've reached the 75% level. So I'm looking for this now to head back down towards the 25% level. We've left open some equal lows here, so looking for some downside still on this. I like that. Now let's see what you guys have been asking. Somebody's asking a GBPUSD long. Now GU for me is not really in a good position now to go long on. Where are you going to long it towards? Like yesterday there was a big pump. Obviously you've now liquidated this low here. Yes, I've seen many times, and you see this on gold a lot as well. Fake out in towards the highs. Everybody gets a stop loss here. Everybody gets effed with the stop loss, and then the thing just heads up higher again. So I mean, has potential, but it's already made kind of like its move. So how much more is it going to move? I'm kind of like looking at this as a significant liquidity high that could cause somewhat of a reversal again. So not really a lot of room to capitalize quite a lot on that, in my personal opinion. I think that gold is a good short-term short still. I still think, and I still see there to be potential for some short-term further downside. It's similar to like a euro yen. Like you're just having so many ascending lows, and more often than not will at some point in time take out those ascending lows. Is there a guarantee that it will take it? No, not necessarily. It's happened many times in the past that it just continues to push up higher and higher, as we know. But for me, what I would love to see is somewhat of a deeper retracement, more liquidity taking before going long again. But this is obviously a perfect world, and we live in an imperfect world. So don't stare yourself to death on this black line here hitting it, because fundamentally gold is still bullish. So it still makes sense to head up higher. So let's see if we can get some more longs. But at the current level, I'm not looking to long it. I'm more looking for some short-term short still to take out some more liquidity. Fabio, will this strategy work for stocks as well? Yes. Would you recommend step 1 or step 2 prop from challenges? Always one step props. Guys, if you want a good one step prop, check out the link in the description of this live stream. For the rest, guys, I still look for oil longs, building up a lot of descending highs. So looking for longs on that side of things. I'm looking for copper longs. I shared this as well today. We are in demand, looking for this to continue pushing up higher. This morning we took out the internal liquidity here, so I'm looking for this to continue and take out this high. Could it still drop down? Yeah, but from the monthly open, then again we'll look for some more. CAD yen. So yeah, CAD yen has retraced really deep. Again, this is very similar to an Aussie yen, where if you go to the weekly time frame, you have taken out significant liquidity. It's like AD entity. I think a lot of these pairs are kind of like on tipping points for a potential trend reversal. They've been trending so hard, and I wouldn't be surprised if we could see CAD yen, for example, drop a little bit deeper. Also, the same goes for Aussie yen, has also taken out a significant high. So keep your eyes open on those pairs, because they definitely have potential to drop very soon, in my opinion. Same goes for AD entity. So look at those pairs at the moment. For the rest, I mean, for me, the main focus is still just EURUSD. I'm not going to be surprised if EURUSD does push up higher from here again after taking out the range low. Kind of more focused on what GU does here. I've seen this many, many times. So I'm more focused on another push up now for GU after sweeping this low. This is, I think, also your Asian range low. Yeah, this is also your Asian range low. So wouldn't be surprised if this just heads up higher from here. Yeah, guys, for you guys, always check every single market that's available. GBP NOK. GNOK. Yeah. Not really looking good for shorts. Like, simply said, like, you shifted bullish and you've taken out internal liquidity. You've just broken above the 3-monthly open. So yeah, short doesn't really make sense. Fabio, you set a big swing trade. Do you only do what the 4-hour and daily swings are aligned, or do you execute a limit order only at the lowest liquidity low? Yeah, so I trade the daily. That's when I'm happy to trade the liquidity low. If the 4-hour doesn't align, I don't trade the liquidity low. So to give you guys an example, again, sharing some free sauce here for you because I'm in a good mood. When it comes to like your USD, I would buy limit this with stops underneath the lows because you're trading the daily trend, and the daily trend is your friend. So that I would long, but on the 4-hour, I would not sell the high. I would not sell this. And the reason is because we have now taken out the final liquidity low on the daily. Therefore, the probability is too low. So what you then want to do is you can perfectly fine to like sell the limit on the final liquidity when you're trading at a premium. So for example here, when you're trading the overall pullback and you're still aiming to hit the lowest liquidity low, fine, like hit that limit. But once you get into discount pricing and you've taken out the final liquidity low, then for me, the rule is just that we need to take out all of the liquidity and then see the order flow shift before then getting into a sell. Because otherwise, what happens, you just see it more than not, just the daily time frame continue to push up higher. But yeah, guys, EURUSD is going from being the ugliest pair on the market to actually being the cleanest pair on the market, in my opinion. I think out of all pairs at the moment, EURUSD is actually the one that I really feel like, hey, I've taken back the reins. You know, it was a horse that was jumping and trying to kick me off, but I slapped him and I told him, like, listen, boy, this is where we're heading, and you're gonna move with me or you're not gonna move with me. And he decided to move with me because obviously he loves me, and he loves all of you too. So let's see. US 30, yeah. What's a good one-step prop for US clients? To be honest, I only know Alpha Capital trades for US clients, man. But yeah, it's as easy as now just waiting, right? Waiting for the market to align with what you now want to see. As simple as that. Yeah, you're used to glow up, man. So Solana, like to trade like a Solana, it's really not that complicated, right? Like you've hit a support level. So ultimately buying from these levels, I'm not going to say like where to, like obviously for crypto, this is a big stop loss, but like this is ultimately like a trade that you can perfectly fine take, because ultimately Solana is doing what? It's ranging, right? So what you're now doing, and again, trading is not hard, but I understand it seems very hard, because the thing now is that what's hard is to have like the stomach and the motivation to enter a trade like this. You want to enter it like this, right? This is how everybody wants to enter it. But like this and then goes. I've seen this so many times. So that's why I just don't even waste my soul and the energy that I have within my body, because I've been mentally drained more than enough times. I've given up my soul. I've gone to hell, and I've come back just to bless all of us together through the experiences that I've already done in losing so many times. And I've lost so many times when using that stop loss. So just put it like this, and then yeah, I mean, this is a perfectly fine setup, right? Like also if you look at BTC, just keep it very, very simple. Where is your overall low? Here. Where was liquidity? Pretty much here, here, and here. So when we came to this first low, you saw as well, again, we headed up from what, 107 back up to 117. Like if you go a time frame lower, you'll see it more clearly. Like we swept that low, boom, pushed back up. Then we came into this low, there was no reaction. We came into this low, and now you've pretty much taken out a significant low. Reason why I say that that is a significant low is because you have a significant demand zone right below it, right? This is a significant demand zone. Why is it a significant demand zone? Because it liquidated the low here to the left, right? So why is this imbalance worthless? Because it didn't take out any liquidity. Why was, let's say, this demand zone still nice to trade from? Because you had a liquidity low inside of it that took out a high, and then it liquidates that low and then pushes up higher again. So yeah, simple. Fabio, how do you plan your risk to reward, especially for prop firm challenges, so you stay inside the daily max drawdown rules and hit profit target? I use fixed lots pretty much most often, and I just know that I need to hit a certain amount of pips rather than a certain amount of percentages, and then I see if that amount of pips fits within my overall target zone for a specific pair. So if I look at a EURUSD, I understand, and I made a little bit of a slight miscalculation, but when I entered, for example, here, I understood that my target needed to be 65 pips approximately, right? So then I base my risk based on that amount of pips. That's more than what I used to do, where I just said I risk 2% per setup. But the easiest way is just to do the 2% risk, to be honest. And it still works. But I've just seen over recent times that that has yielded a lot of success as well. But it's a little bit more complicated, so it's not really why I talk too much about it. And these are, again, all strategies that I kind of like test. And obviously I have the room to test because I have the budget to keep on buying new challenges from whatever firm possible, right? Fabio, have you ever suffered from analysis paralysis? 100%. But I think more what I've struggled with in the past is that a lot of opinions influence my potential decision making. So obviously everybody has an opinion on what I have to say. And that is fine. But I also mentioned it yesterday, like sometimes it can kind of like also mess with my brain, because if I'm looking for, let's say, a long in towards the upside on EURUSD, but I get 50 messages about selling it here on the third trendline touch, then obviously in my head sometimes I'll think like, but what am I missing? What am I missing? Could this, for example, be a liquidity high that now has the potential to push the market down lower, right? Am I missing something? But then again, like everybody will look at the market differently, right? So you kind of have to just, stick to your guts, stick to your guns. Damn, spam, USD-JPY, yeah, man. USD-JPY, I already talked about it. Still lower. Still looking good to head down lower. Like for now, order flow is so clear on UJ. You had the first supply zone here, then you had the second supply zone here, and then you had the third supply zone here. So again, don't be an idiot. Wait for what? And then this is the supply here. So wait for some more candle closes, and then wait for this high to go, and then you can look for a long on the internal bump in the road. Bum, 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 and then bum, and then bum, and then bum, and then bum. As simple as that. And then obviously you can also place a stop loss here. It's also fine. But it would have been better to place a stop loss here if it also took out this low here, because this is the final liquidity low. As simple as that. Brother, how do you solve the data difference between broker to broker and platforms and Forex? To be honest, like I don't really care, because I don't trade the 1 minute. I have a life and I have brain cells, so I don't really trade the 1 minute. Like when you trade the 4 hour time frame, 1 pip is not going to make the difference. So I don't really care. Forex.com has always provided me pretty much with the best kind of like data that's similar to the broker I use. For example, for the trading pit, they use Tickmill. So then sometimes it's maybe smarter to use Tickmill because it's, for example, the data that you'll also see on your MT5 when trading with the trading pit. I don't know what that is for the other prop firms. Fabio, do you scalp from time to time or pure swing? Like, I really want to scalp again, but to be honest, again, like, it's just so mentally draining to scalp that I just don't really want to kind of like, I don't recommend it to anyone, man. I really don't recommend it to anyone. Like, I've really gone that route, and it's fun, and we can have a laugh when scalping, but yeah, man, like, nothing is more beautiful than just being able to get on a plane, travel wherever you want, and just do whatever you want without even having to stress about a position. Like, even like on like a GBPUSD, like, just imagining the amount of peace of mind you have. Let's say here, right? Let's say we classify this as a breaker structure, this is internal liquidity, and we just enter here with our stop loss underneath the low here for how many pips? Like 100 pips stop loss, yeah? And we target 200 pips, right? This is like a setup that hits your TP eventually. What, like, you enter 12 November and 3 December you hit TP, so like 2.5 weeks. Now, these kind of setups are so peaceful, man. Like, you can do whatever you want, and then in the end, if you take this with 1% risk on a 100k account, you make 2k. And let's say you have like 500k accounts, then you just make 10k like that, like within 3 weeks. And like $10k like in 3 weeks time for anybody is fucking good money, right? Like, obviously not going to win every single setup, so you have to take maybe 2 setups or 3 setups. But let's say next to this setup you also take another setup on whatever, your USD or NZUSD, and then you lose 1 and you win 2. Like, yeah, like, that's fantastic, right? That's what it's all about. Do you want to be like every single day, like going back behind the laptop and then having to get out of bed and then look and then mark out the POI, the Asian session range low, say the breaker structure, and then, okay, now we had the sweep, and then your hands are shaking, like, you know, you see the mouse go up and down, and then you enter, and then you place a stop loss somewhere here, and then you know, like a 15 pip stop loss, and then what happens, like, it goes 2 pips into profit, and then you see like $300 up, $500 up, and it goes straight back down with news back down to like minus $1,000. Like, I'd rather lose $1,000 in 3 weeks than lose $1,000 in like 5 minutes, right? And that for me was just a no-brainer decision over time. And it took me some time to learn that, but it's been the best decision of my life, and that's why I like to preach about it, because for me it's made such a difference in my life and in my trading. But yeah, let's see, man. I want to see that final push on EURUSD. Just like GU should take the highs, man. GU should hit the blue line soon. Yeah, so same with Euro GBP. So I'm still bearish on the pound. Why has it been pushing up? I think there was some good data on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Like, let's say you're a GBP, right? Let's say you look at this. Now, yeah, I mean, Euro GBP is one of the messiest pairs out there. It's kind of like a Euro Swiss. But like, just trading something like this even, you know, like, I don't know if this will work. And it's not like something that I've tested extensively on a Euro GBP. But like, something like this is also just fine to take, right? You just take it, you know, you take like 1 lot, and then, or let's say 2 lots, and that's 1.4k risk or something like that. And then approximate TP is like 2.8k. And it might take like 3 weeks, but then again, like, fine. Like, in 3 weeks time, you lose or you win, man. CPI, was UK CPI. But yeah, I don't hate anyone who trades lower time frame. Like, do it if it works for you. I'm just sharing my experiences, and obviously I come from a space of authority where I can speak out of authority, because I've seen it all, I've done it all, right? And the reason I think a lot of you watch this video is because you want to hear it from someone who's done it all and who's experienced all of the mistakes. And like, there's one thing you can do, and that's like watch information and understand how I trade. But there's one thing that you will never be able to have, and that is the time that I spent, unless you want to wait for another 3-4 years doing this and still losing money like I did for a long time. Like, I lost the money that you don't need to lose, right? And then the only way I ask that everybody supports me is just leave a like on the stream. I should start doing some IRL streams, man, some in real life streaming, and then like show like I take a trade. I think that's something for next year. How are we with the Swiss pairs? Yeah, Swiss pairs still lagging, man. I think there's a big shift, like kind of like what I talked about at the beginning of the session. Like you've seen, for example, NZD CHF push up a lot higher. Like it's just not a good moment to short it. Again, here we took at the range low, boom, pushes back up higher after previously taking out the range high and pushing back down lower. So this thing is really bullish. Demand is definitely in control. So yeah, no sense in shorting that. It looks more kind of like a sustainable trend reversal where the markets are now pricing in the fact that these high beta currencies like NZD and AUD are going to benefit from the United States cutting interest rates and themselves ending their overall cutting cycle. Meaning, from a fundamental perspective, that these currencies have the potential to see very significant reversals. Now, obviously, AUD-CHF hasn't really dropped, but yeah, AUD-CHF's like, it's chopping up higher and higher. I talked about this on Tuesday as well. Like, just don't waste your money on shorting it. G-Swiss, the only difference there is that the pound is still very, very weak, but also with this, just wait for confirmation. So that's nowhere near. Euro-Swiss is, I've said this many, many times. It's like, I always think of these metaphors like, how can I compare it to something? But it's like the ugly something that always comes back and never leaves. And I cannot really think of a very good example of something that is very ugly but always keeps on coming back. But maybe your guys' imagination can do that, and you can let me know in the chat if you have any ideas for a good metaphor that I can share with everybody here on stream. So yeah. Same goes for like an NZD-JPY, not the best to trade. Like I'm always just looking at kind of like divergences within a market. So I'm always looking for like a pair that I see as strong. So like an NZD is strong, and then I look at a pair that is weak. So what is a weak pair? What is a strong pair? Strong is NZD, weak is GBP. So then I look at like a GBP NZD short, for example. And then I see, okay, well maybe from that internal high that we have here, we could look for a short, because relatively we took out liquidity here, spiked above that, and then we broke internal some structure, take out this liquidity, and then maybe we could look for like a short. Like these are kind of like divergences from a fundamental aspect that I'm looking for. Yeah, people spamming gold. That's a good one. Indeed, people spamming gold. That's definitely a good example of something that is very ugly and keeps coming back. Spam emails, yeah, very ugly, keeps coming back. Thanks, guys. I appreciate always the kind comments. Don't forget to leave a like. I really sound like a slut asking for likes, but, you know, it does well for the algorithm. So, yeah, CAD Yen, obviously this has kind of like changed a bit. So what I'm referring to with, okay, the market might be changing quite a bit, is as well where the yen is potentially gaining some strength. So where we are now at is CAD yen has been trending upwards, right? So it's consolidated here for quite a bit, and we've had a very clear uptrend here since October. I think this uptrend could come to an end now that we've hit a weekly high of the overall range that we're in. So I'm not going to be surprised if we see somewhat of a drop. Also, I won't go too much into it, but Japanese yields have been like flying. Inside this word, I dropped an update. I won't highlight it here. But there's an update why the yen has the potential to gain a lot of strength. Not only are the fundamentals aligning, but also the technicals are aligning, where we're at the high of the range after hitting the low of the range. Like CAD yen is ranging, and the yen now has potential to strengthen. So I think it's a very risky position to keep holding like CAD yen or 80 yen longs. So if you're in this, like I am personally kind of like not looking to trade this at the moment. Reason is, again, the fundamentals. There was a lot of technical alignment because we've had kind of like the push up, we've had the push up, and every single time we did what? We swept liquidity, and then we've headed up higher again. Here we swept liquidity, we've headed up higher again. Here we swept liquidity, we headed up higher again. But now we've reached the weekly target. So you're using the strategy to trade towards like significant points of liquidity within the market. That's the main focus. That's also what I did with EURUSD, right? EURUSD is pumping. Good boy, good boy. I need 8.5, guys. I need 10 pips for another 100k pass, man. That thing was like $200 away from pass this morning, and then it went all the way back down to like needing, like from needing $200 back down to needing like 2k, like. But like EURUSD, it's like same for EURUSD. Like I use the internal trend like why I got longs here is because I use the internal trend to trade towards a significant liquidity point. Once you reach the liquidity point, that is where you wait. You wait to see what happens within that liquidity point. And then once the liquidity point gives you what you require, which is then trend shift, then you can get into a position based on the liquidity that is then again created. So then you create an impulsive phase. Within that impulsive phase, you identify liquidity. And then that is the point again where you can then get in. So you're kind of like, it's like a game, man. It's like just stacking the, let's say, XYZ in order to get the D outcome, right? Isn't swing trading an issue for prop firms since there is a daily loss limit and it locks your P&L at the day end, and even if there is drawdown of your profit but the daily limit, so you have to close? I don't know if it is me, but I think that is one of the most logical sounding questions that is just not logical in my brain. Sorry, mate, my brain cannot comprehend the question. Maybe put into chat GPT and just ask me to, or ask it to kind of like give me the the one sentence version. Come on, man. EURUSD. Come on. Let's see where we are at. Give me one sec. Let me see. I'm looking for the right account. Yeah. It's running good, guys. I don't know if you guys can see. Running 8.8K. So let's see. A little bit more of a push, man. I need a little bit more of a push. All I want. Ends the USD. Mitchell just told me that is looking good for a short-term buy. Yeah. Little push up indeed. Yeah. This is like, man, this is like GU and NU, like, I told you guys. There goes GU. GU should now hit the blue line, man. Let's go. So you see, man, this happens so often. It's like gold all over, man. Like you see, when you have like a clear trend in a certain direction, look for push. Just every single time. And it's like, because it tries to just like screw up everyone, this kind of like pattern within the market where first you get everybody to buy the breakout, then it comes back down to take out their stops, then everybody thinks it's going to head the other direction and this is now supply, and then it just heads in the overall real trend, right? This happens so much, it's crazy. Really happens so much, man. No. Sorry, guys. Let's see, man. Yeah, guys. I like, right? Like, come on, man. Hit the blue line. Come on, man. Be a good boy. Yeah, this shit is gonna hit, man. Come on, man. And then if this now reverses massively, somebody has to make a meme out of me. Come on, man. EURUSD. 10 more pips, man. But yeah, let's see. For the rest, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, 80 JPY as well. Hit the overall kind of like significant high here. 80 JPY is a little bit different. Like, CAD Yen is a better short because CAD Yen is like more consolidative. So yeah, watching this, I don't know, man. Like, I don't, because at the same time, like, like at the same time, like the trend is not as clean as you would want, right? In the sense that this is more kind of like a low, so you would want this, and then get into a short. So you're kind of like waiting for it to line. So I think like next week, like I'll have to see where the pairs are then at for kind of like some good positions on there. 80 NZD, want it a little bit higher. GP NZD, I want it a little bit higher. GBPUSD expecting more downside. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Just waiting for EURUSD to do its thing, guys. Yeah, GU blue line is boundary casual for everyone. No, once GU hits the blue line, it's not like you can just suddenly enter. No. Because again, like, it's trending upwards massively. Man, like, again, after reviewing these trades, I've, again, from this period, learned a lot, guys. But I think, again, these pairs are very interesting levels, so let's monitor it. One step or instant funded accounts, one step with Trading Pit, the best in the industry. Check out the link in the description, TTA10 for a 10% discount. I should get hired to do marketing on TV, man. Yeah, I'm tired, guys. I'm gonna head off. I think there's not too much today. Yeah, I mean, I've explained what I'm waiting for. EURUSD is my main one. NZD USD also for longs. EURUSD for shorts if we get the trend shift. Otherwise, more longs later. That will probably take another 2 weeks. But EU could make us a setup next week. Yeah, UJ is still good. TED down lower. Swiss also very nice. Congrats. I know a lot of you are in that as well. Should head down lower as well. And I'm looking for GPNCD sells as well. GN sells. And G Swiss sells once the trend shifts, and GA sells, and AUD entity sells, and yeah, CAD yen and Aussie yen sells, but I don't really see the setup there yet. Yeah, I still see a lot of yen strength from the monthly open to beat potentially here, and then a GJ sell somewhere soon as well. Yeah, I mean, for those with some balls and who have a stomach, who like swing trading, I would be looking at kind of like a setup like this. I don't know if you guys find the stops too big, but something like that. So yeah, guys, appreciate you all. I'm still looking for gold longs, but gold longs for me would ideally be from somewhere lower. Guys, thanks a lot. Wish you all a fantastic trading day. I'm creating some webinars on a lot of the questions that I've been receiving, so yeah, bear with me. I'll be dropping a lot more on it inside Discord. It's just easier to do it all inside Discord, you know, with all of you. And I'll update you guys there, yeah? Thanks. Ciao. Love you all. Speak soon. Saudades. Miss you all. A lot of love here from Brazil to all of you. And we'll speak inside Discord, yeah? And hopefully we can do another live stream tomorrow. Okay. Speak soon, guys. And if you have questions, just ask them inside Discord. I'm